President Obama's top advisor saying today that Russia will be hit with sanctions, serious ones this week. So far, just the threat of those sanctions has impacted Russia's economy. You're looking at live pictures right now as the results come in from the Crimea vote. Businesses losing billions and the ruble hitting record lows. So could Russia and a recession be felt here at home? Here now, senior business correspondent Brenda Butner, anchor of Bulls and Bears. I don't think I've ever said ruble. That's correct, right?
Absolutely. And
wow,
in fact, it has really tanked, and it has taken Russia $11 billion to stabilize it. So this is very expensive for Russia.
And everyone said we had no leverage.
Well, I don't know that we do have that much leverage because, first of all, we don't know that we're going to impose sanctions. It all depends on Germany. They really have the most dependence on Russia. They export a lot of goods. They import oil. Europe gets 30% of its oil from Russia. So I'm not sure that there's going to be the coalition. And then, will the sanctions even have any impact?
Well, what do you think Putin's thinking about them? Sanctions right now?
Well, I'll tell you what, all the top businessmen in Russia are scared to death of sanctions because it's going to mean that they're going to freeze their assets here. They're not going to get visas to go to the Hamptons and whatever. And a source has said that none of them have been able to meet with Putin. He doesn't care about them. He really, I think, at this point, is more concerned with gaining Crimea, and he's using Europe's dependence on oil as an economic weapon.
So I have two questions. It seems that if he gets Crimea, he'll expand beyond and want more, but he'll have to provide certain goods and services to those areas that will cost him money. It's still a win-win?
Great question. Crimea does not come cheap. Some estimates say that it will cost about $3 billion a year. Crimea gets more than it gives out in taxes. It's an expensive thing, but it's, I think the issue for Putin is not so much the economy.
It's power. Okay. So beyond that, there's been a lot of talk about the U.S. being in a position to provide natural gas to European nations, which could take some of the business away from Russia.
Great.
Are we in a position to do that, Brenda?
Great point. I mean, we have amazing resources in natural gas. We are not exporting our oil.
Why not?
Political. It's all political. We could open up. We could open up the Keystone Pipeline. We could allow more fracking. Long term, this would be more long term. But if we export oil and natural gas to Europe, they will be less dependent on Russia, and Russia will be more isolated.
Won't it bring, in addition to isolating the country that's not behaving in a way that we and other nations, our allies, find appropriate, wouldn't it bring dollars into our nation and jobs?
Absolutely.
So for those who don't follow it as closely as you do, can you explain why this is even an option not to produce the natural gas that we can and provide it to the European nations?
It's a great point. North Dakota, where there's so much fracking going on and so much natural gas supplies being provided, has the lowest unemployment rate in the nation. It's political. Environmentalists are saying, for example, the Keystone Pipeline from Canada down to the southern states is going to hurt the economy. Yet we've seen studies, State Department studies, that show that it would not that much. This is political.
So environmentally, they don't have the science at this point to prove their position, but it's strong enough to stand in the way?
It's political. President Obama does not want to lose that left vote. I mean, I'm an economist. I'm not a political scientist, but I think that has a lot to play, much more than money.
Stanford and Oxford, and the list goes on, girlfriend. So what do you think the outcome is in the end for Crimea, for Russia, and for the United States trying to exert these sanctions? President Obama would need a lot of congressional support, wouldn't he?
He would need congressional support, and he would more importantly need the support of the allies. I'm not sure he would get that, and I'm not sure that sanctions would be effective. Look how long we've had sanctions against Cuba. Have we seen any regime change? No.
And Iran.
Yes, absolutely.
Several sets of sanctions. All right, there's no sanction against watching you, Brenda, on Saturdays on Bulls and Bears.